Hey guys, Manny back here with another video on the CascadeScents fragrance station, and this one is on the 5 types of fragrances you need in your life. Now, it's no secret that I own a lot of fragrances, and a lot of people in my personal life or online will always ask me, why do I need so many of these? And there's a major problem with that question, and that is the keyword need. I don't need any of this. I'm a fragrance head, and having X amount of scents so happens to make me happy. That being said, I'm still very utilitarian about how I pick my fragrances for each occasion. As long as various places have certain cultural norms for how you should be dressed for certain occasions, I think there are underlying norms as well for how you should smell if you do choose to spray something. So the X amount of scents that I do actually own are divided into 5 different types that fit into these norms. And keep in mind that I'm a young suburban professional living in a very standard North American town that for the most part gets the equal parts of 4 different seasons, so I'm coming at you with that kind of mindset. You may be different with your approach as far as what you do for a living, what you actually prefer, what your climate is, and what your culture's like. Anyway, let's finally get into it, starting with the first type of fragrance that you need in your collection, and that is the driver. The driver, or the daily driver, is just a fancy name for what I like to call my work fragrance. Something that is super office safe, but since you made the conscious decision to wear something to work, it better last your workday too. So sometimes it's hard finding a light, inoffensive scent cloud that also has longevity. Now you'll see that with this type of fragrance, or the types to come, that I'm going to go out of my way to not smell like anyone else as far as the best selling fragrances out there, because of course I'm going to do that, I'm a fragrance head. So some of my personal favorite safe/unique daily driver fragrances include Gucci Pour Homme by Gucci, as well as Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver EDP. So as long as you have at least one daily driver fragrance to get you through your work days, I think you'll be alright. Now the next type of fragrance I feel like we all need is called the beater. Now your beater doesn't necessarily have to be as office safe as your daily driver, but it's something that should still be safe because you want to wear this kind of fragrance throughout most of your daily life situations outside of work. My daily driver work scent may just remind me of my work day, and I probably don't want that after work or if I have a day off, so might as well have a beater fragrance to just have on layaway for when I do get home. Or if I have an off day and I have some errands to do like get gas or go to the bank, what am I wearing? Beater. And if I'm just chilling inside with my girl watching Netflix or playing games, what am I wearing? Beater. So I think that having at least one beater fragrance is probably a good idea. I'd say that a couple awesome beater options are Allure Homme Sport Eau Extrême by Chanel for mild to warmer weather, and Play Intense by Givenchy for cooler weather. Thumbs up for beaters. Now let's move on to the next type of fragrance that you need in your life, and this one is called the all-nighter. Regardless of the current climate of wherever you are, you want this to typically be a cold weather scent because this one is going to last and perform for extended periods of time. This is what you'll need if you're with your girl or with the fellas out at a club or pub. Like, there's usually a lot of strong aromas going around in these parts. The stench of alcohol, BO, and other opposing scents as well. So whatever you do choose to wear, it better last, it better project, and it might as well be a very positive conversation starter. This also means that you don't want to smell like potential ex-boyfriend material if you're trying to meet someone. Not saying that some of these scents are bad, in fact I love some of these scents personally, but a benefit of being an informed fragrance user is knowing what could fill these voids without actually smelling like them. So some of the all-nighters I'd actually reach for are also really sweet scents. We're talking Ultra Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier, as well as Amen Pure Vin by Thierry Mugler. These types of scents typically radiate really well off of my skin, something I want out of my all-nighter fragrance, so I really appreciate that. But as always, what will work for me as far as the scent's development and performance will most likely be different than what will actually work for you. So that means you should never blind buy any fragrance. Either acquire samples online or test stuff in real life on skin, never paper. Fragrances are typically constructed for human usage, not paper, so tests like these are typically just for fun, but I'd love for you guys to watch those tests anyway, links in the description below. Now let's move on to the second last type of fragrance you need in your collection, and this one is probably the least important for most of you guys out there. I'd only get this one if you have enough specific occasions for it, and this one is called the showstopper. The showstopper is simply your one fragrance stop for all of your formal occasions. It's one fragrance I think you can be downright daring and ostentatious with if you want to commit to this kind of purchase. So if you dress like this for X amount of holiday parties, or you like going to a lot of expensive dinners, you might as well smell the part too. Currently, some of my favorite showstopper fragrances include Bois d'Argent by Christian Dior, as well as Angélique Noire by Guerlain. I'd definitely say they're conversation starters given the appropriate occasion. Again, this category tends to be the priciest for me, so with that value being considered, as well as the versatility issues that you may run into, you may not want to even invest in a showstopper fragrance at all, let alone one. Anyway, let's move on to the last type of fragrance you need in your collection, and this one is called the Master. Now, I'm clearly the type to always want to switch things up daily, but sometimes I really like having X amount of scents that I can defer to for not just one occasion, but all of them. Some example fragrances that I think are worthy of master status in my personal opinion are Aventus by Creed and Individuel by Mont Blanc. Like, I literally think that those fragrances are safe enough for most of my daily life, but I also think they're flattering and interesting enough for most of my opulent occasions. So again, when I can't think of what to wear, I defer to one of these fragrances, my masters. And there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the 5 types of fragrances you need in your life. Again, the examples I mentioned with either of those types are merely what I would use and or suggest, but go out and test them and more in real life to see what you actually prefer and what actually works for you. If you guys enjoyed this type of video and you have more you want to suggest, let me know in the comments below. And if you have anything else nice to say or anything constructive, I'd really appreciate that too. Also, please continue to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet, if you want to support more kind of great fragrance content. And yeah, hopefully I catch you for the next one. Thanks as always for the support. Take care, guys. Peace out. Bye.